Far away, past the Sneezy Mountains and just beyond the Burping Bog, stood a very special volcano. But this wasn't a scary volcano. It was full of giggles. Big giggles, small giggles, snorts, and chortles. The volcano was called the Giggle Volcano, the wobbliest, happiest mountain in the world. It was bright yellow, with purple polka dots that jiggled when it was happy. When the Giggle Volcano was really happy, it would rumble. Not a scary rumble, but a deep, tickly one, like a giant's tummy after fizzy pickles. The ground would shake, the trees would wiggle, and the flowers would dance. Everyone nearby knew a tickly shake meant something wonderful was about to happen. Instead of lava, the volcano erupted with pure bubbly laughter, colorful bubbles of joy popping with funny sounds and silly jokes. The air would fill with the sweet smell of candy floss and popcorn, and everyone would start to laugh. But the Giggle Volcano didn't erupt every day. It needed to be filled up with laughter first. The volcano was a bit shy and needed help from its friends to get the giggles going. Luckily, it had the silliest, most wonderful friends living right at the bottom of its wobbly, polka-dotted slopes. They were always ready for a laughter adventure. Living next to the Giggle Volcano was the Silly Squad, the funniest friends you'll ever meet. First, Barnaby the bear, a big fuzzy bear with a tiny wobbly top hat, loved telling silly jokes. "What do you call a bear with no teeth? A gummy bear," he'd laugh, and his hat would fall off. Next was Penelope the penguin, who wore a bright pink scarf and loved to dance the wiggle wobble flap flap. She'd wiggle, wobble, flap, and sometimes slide on her tummy, popping up with a "ta-da," even if she was covered in grass. Then came Ziggy the zebra, always puzzled if he was black with white stripes or white with black stripes. He'd stare at his reflection and ask, "Am I black with white or white with black?" But Penelope always said he was perfect. Ziggy's favorite thing was making funny faces, wiggling his ears, crossing his eyes, and sticking out his tongue all at once. Last was Squeaky the squirrel, tiny but with a huge voice, always singing silly songs and collecting funny noises in a little bag. "Oh, I'm a squirrel with a fluffy tail, looking for a nut that is not stale," he'd sing, making everyone laugh. Squeaky didn't collect nuts. He collected giggles, snorts, and plops, ready to share them when someone needed a laugh. Together, the Silly Squad was always up for fun. They were the perfect team to help the Giggle Volcano, and today, they'd need every bit of their silliness. One sunny morning, everything was too quiet. The birds weren't giggling, the flowers weren't dancing, and the Giggle Volcano wasn't wiggling at all. Barnaby noticed first. "This is a very serious problem," he said, adjusting his tiny hat. He found Penelope, who couldn't get her wiggle wobble going without giggles in the air. "The volcano hasn't rumbled in 3 days," she sighed. Ziggy trotted over, wondering if the volcano was confused about its colors. Squeaky scampered down, declaring, "The volcano isn't sad, it's empty. We haven't been silly enough." The friends realized they'd forgotten their most important job, making the volcano laugh. This was a laughter emergency, a giggle crisis. "We need a plan," Barnaby declared. "A silly plan?" Penelope flapped. "A very, very silly plan," Ziggy agreed. "The silliest plan ever," Squeaky squeaked. The Silly Squad huddled together, ready for action. Their mission? Make the volcano laugh again. The Silly Squad launched Operation Make the Volcano Laugh Part 1 jokes. Barnaby shouted, "Hey volcano, what do you call a sad strawberry? A blueberry!" But the volcano didn't budge. Squeaky tried, "Why can't a bicycle stand up by itself? Because it's too tired." Still nothing. Ziggy gave it a go. "What has 4 wheels and flies? A garbage truck." No response. The volcano was a tough audience. Part 2 silly noises. Squeaky opened his bag. The friends laughed, but the volcano stayed still. "Laughing is good for you," Penelope said, "and even better with friends." The Silly Squad knew the volcano needed to feel that sunshine. "We're not giving up," Penelope announced. "It's time for Part 3, the silliest, most daring part." They grinned at each other, ready to get really, really silly. The volcano needed more than jokes and noises. It needed their wildest fun. The friends prepared for their silliest move yet. The stage was set for the Great Banana Peel Ballet. Part 3 was Penelope's idea, the Great Banana Peel Ballet. Squeaky had collected banana peels for just such a silly emergency. Penelope laid them out and declared, "The key is to be as clumsy as possible. Follow me." She skated onto a peel, spun, wobbled, and struck a pose. No falls, just flair. Barnaby went next. Landing on his fuzzy bottom, his hat spinning back onto his head. Everyone giggled at his surprise. Ziggy galloped through the peels, front legs one way, back legs another, ending up in the splits. "I am both black with white and white with black right now," he yelped. Squeaky bounced from peel to peel, shouting, "Boing, boing, boing!" It was a beautiful, silly, clumsy mess. The friends laughed so hard they had to hold their tummies. Then, a tiny sound. A. One purple polka dot wobbled. "It's working!" Squeaky cheered. "The volcano is starting to smile!" They dove back into the peels, slipping and sliding in a big, happy pile. The jiggle became a wobble, then a shake. A deep, rumbly-tumbly sound echoed from the Giggle Volcano. The silly squad cheered, sillier than ever. Barnaby with banana peels on his head, Ziggy balancing on one leg, Penelope spinning, Squeaky singing about a penguin teapot. The ground shook with happy shakes, trees wiggled, and the volcano glowed with a big happy smile. Suddenly, the volcano erupted. Huge, shimmering bubbles of laughter floated out, popping with jokes and giggles. "What do you call cheese that isn't yours?" "Nacho cheese." A bubble burst. The air filled with joy as bubbles rained down on the silly squad. Each pop brought a fresh wave of giggles. The world was no longer quiet. It was filled with magical shared laughter. The silly squad had done it. The eruption lasted and lasted, covering the land in sparkly, giggling dew. The silly squad lay in a happy heap, still giggling. Barnaby's hat was crooked, Penelope's scarf untied, Ziggy with grass on his nose. "We did it," Penelope sighed. "No," Barnaby smiled. "Did it. Together." Squeaky snuggled into Ziggy's stripes. "Laughter is better with friends," he squeaked. "A nut is good, but a pile of nuts to share is the best," he added. Everyone agreed. A single giggle is nice, but a mountain of joy with friends is the best feeling ever. As the sun set, the Giggle Volcano gave one last happy jiggle, its polka dots winking. The silly squad watched the last bubbles float away, tired but happy. They'd learned something important. Fun is fun, silly is silly. But the best magic is sharing a laugh with the people you love. The volcano was full and content, ready for the next laughter emergency. And the silly squad was always ready for another adventure.